Seeing bodies in the alley and blood in the valley. From the shores of Maine all the way to Compton County, I'm calling rally to the homies in the street life. Take a real close look at what it looked like. A young nigga in the ghetto raised up on grits. The first thing mama told me was don't take no shit. Playing tag with body bags, bullets and bloody rags, and just up with the Dodge on the toe tag. Whoever the man today might not be the man tomorrow, cause life is full of hardships, pimp slaps and sorrow. You gotta believe in something, but whatever you do, make sure what you believe is real and true. Fuck the lies and alibis, I come to realize my visual assault are wasted on blinded eyes. Like AT&T, you gotta make a switch or get pushed to the side like a little bitch. When the revolution comes, I'ma be up front with my finger on the trigger of a Mossberg pump. When the revolution comes, I'ma be right there with my 9 in the head, braids in my head.
Make everyone aware it's a rubble of riots, still smokers in spots like Newark, Harlem, Chicago, and Watts.
I've been hollering and hooping, yeah, looting and shooting. I'm doing some recruiting to bring more troops in. Niggas don't be doing what they supposed to do. They rather post on the corner with the Buster crew. Playing games I used to play back in '79 with the same bullshit and the same old lie. If you want some residual, be individual. On a nigga nuts cause he rolling in a 64. Your favorite line is fuck all of y'all. But one day there's gonna be a final call. That's why I'm rolling deep in a motherfucking Jeep. Always on the creek, and my crew don't fall asleep. So pull your money out your pocket and put it in the middle. This ain't no roots ass chicken George nigga on the fiddle. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In my motherfucking self I trust. When the revolution comes, I'ma be up front with my finger on the trigger of a Mossberg pump. When the revolution comes, I'ma be right there with my 9 in the head, braids in my head.
But they don't believe the revolution is coming with years. You better watch out! You better watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out, black folks!
Way back in the days, we used to slang them in the street. But now when niggas get beat, they wanna go and get they beat. Everybody know that you know how to kill, but tell me, do you know how to let a nigga live? I got a dream that maybe one day niggas can't fight, then walk away. I'm talking fisticuffs, put them pistols up and shoot them from the shoulders to show that you can hold your. I sing the song of the plight of the black man in America, in the state of hysteria. No longer will I accept the second rate. I plan to set the record straight before I dissipate. It's the 1-2 combination punch to the throat. There's a hole in your boat, bitch, that's all she wrote. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In my motherfucking self I trust. When the revolution comes, I'ma be up front with my finger on the trigger of a Mossberg pump. When the revolution comes, I'ma be right there with my 9 in the head, braids in my head. When the revolution comes, I'ma be straight low, going out in the crowd, pistol smoke. The revolution comes.
That nigga is looking for trouble. Steady go and get himself killed.
Sure will.
So will. South Central Los Angeles is a holocaust of flame and smoke as proud black warriors all come forth to reclaim our destiny and restore our hope. To make everyone aware that the rubble of riots still smokers in spots.
All right. Hello. Hi. Welcome back to Nightly News This Morning. I am your host, Cousin Matt. Today is Friday, July 3rd, 2026, and tomorrow is the 250th anniversary of the Revolution of Independence for the United States of America. So today is our Happy Birthday America stream, even though it's not really America's birthday. It's the day that we celebrate the Declaration of Independence. So yeah, I'm looking patriotic today. I got my red, white, and blue tie on. I got my patriotic hat on. How are you, tubes? How are you guys doing? Is everybody here in the United States? You got the day off? You got big plans for the weekend? How about in other countries? What do you do to celebrate America Day? Don't you celebrate America Day everywhere? Like, didn't we free everybody? Isn't that? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. Yeah, freedom. How's it going? JP, good to see you. Beardshire, good to see you. Glad you guys are here in the chat. Glad everybody's here hanging out. We're gonna read some news stories today. We're back to our regular scheduled format. Not fucking around anymore. I mean, I am kind of fucking around, but yeah, you may have noticed I didn't do the normal royalty-free music this morning. I'm going to have to cut that out of the video on demand. But the theme of the music this morning was the revolution. So I was having a discussion with somebody close to me the other day, and we were talking about the Democratic Socialist takeover. And I was like, it's really great. I just don't know if it'll take less than another revolution in this country to change things. I hope that it will. But yeah, I'm not going to get too dim and dour into today. It's a holiday weekend. We're here to have a good time. We're here to read some news. Got some stories today. So if you haven't liked the stream already, please do like the stream. If you're watching this later, if you found this somehow and you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe to me. I'm trying to get as close to 1,000 subscribers as I can. I need to get my watch hours up so that maybe someday I can be monetized. I'm not monetized right now. That's why I have my my shill app up in the corner. You don't have to donate tubes, but it's much appreciated if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, this show is not free to produce. Obviously, I have a studio's worth of equipment that I had to put together, and then I have a Ground News subscription. It's not super expensive. It's not like I'm putting myself in the hole to do this or anything, but I am trying to get to the point where I can start at least making some ad revenue from YouTube. So if nothing else, if you could give the stream a like, make sure that you're subscribed with notifications on, that helps out a lot, So all those things. I got another channel. I got some other links you can check out. But with all that shilling out of the way, Nightly News this morning is brought to you by me. Just me. So it's a self-produced show. That's right. So anyway, moving right along. I hope everybody's doing great. We've got 4 stories in Ground News that we're going to look at both sides of the issue like we normally do, see who's reporting on one side or the other, kind of pick something that's in the middle, or at least, knowing where our bias is when we read the story. And yeah, and we'll get moving on it. So let's get moving here. We'll get things going with story number 1 today. Story number 1, former Olympian indicted after arrest over alleged reflecting pool vandalism. So we have our Ground News aggregator pulled up for this particular incident here, and you can see that 52% of the sources are center, with 15% from the right and 33% from the left. So you have more reporting coming from the left than the right, but not necessarily something that would be considered a blind spot. And you can get a little overview of the story from what side, like what the left's overview of the story versus the right's overview of the story. You can be pretty sure that the right is going to have a different opinion about the story than the left will. And our story is from what it describes as a center publication. It's K2 News, which is a Portland news outlet. Something a little bit local to me, so that's what I went with. There were a ton of stories reporting on this. You can see 269 articles reporting, and it was hard to find something. The first few stories that are highest factuality, because I always sort my Ground News stories by factuality, but the first ones on here were NPR and Cascade PBS, and they were just audio stories. I can't read an audio story. It doesn't work for the format of my show. Then you can see some other ones here had a paywall. So I went down, like I said, to K2 News, which was a little ways down here. I found something that I wanted to read. I'm not sure where exactly it is. Oh, there it is. But it does say it's a media conglomerate with the Sinclair Broadcast Group. Very high factuality with a center-leaning distribution. And I picked it for my own personal bias, which I'm letting you know. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. So I picked for this particular article, an outlet from the Pacific Northwest. So let's get into the story. Former 3-time U.S. Olympian David Hearn has been indicted by a grand jury in D.C. Superior Court in connection to vandalism at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro announced Thursday. Hearn was charged with felony destruction of property and faces 10 years in prison if convicted. The indictment comes after a June 19th incident where Hearn allegedly ripped a piece of recently installed sealant off the bottom of the reflecting pool. The evidence shows, and we will prove beyond a reasonable doubt, that Hearn willfully destroyed property at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, Pirro said. Pirro said a National Park Service employee watched Hearn forcefully and violently, quote unquote, rip up about 2 square feet of the bottom liner with both of his bare hands. In addition, Pirro said that when an NPS employee approached Hearn, he shouted in response and said that she cared too much about the reflecting pool, and why did she even care since it wasn't even her pool? Isn't it everyone's pool? Hearn was also described as belligerent and disrespectful to the NPS employees during the confrontation. We will not allow our sacred monuments to be roped off, defaced, or diminished, or in any way impacted by disgruntled individuals who think that they and not the rest of the nation have the right to decide what should happen. These landmarks and monuments belong to all of us, and they should be protected for generations to come, Pirro said on Thursday. 7 News obtained court records of the indictment, which stated David Carter Hearn maliciously did injure, break, and destroy certain property, that is, lining material of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, property of the United States government, causing damage in the amount of $1,000 or more. Hearn was among several people arrested in the vandalism investigation last month. He told ABC News at the time of his arrest that he touched a piece of blue coating that was partially detached from the bottom of the reflecting pool. This is a case with tremendous evidence, Pirro added. When we have witnesses, when we have the defendant on record saying things that are not true, and when we have witnesses who are disinterested, who have no motive to lie, they have no agenda, they are just working there, and they are actually witnessing damage to the national monument. We're going to go forward now. The U.S. Department of Interior said on June 29th that 7 arrests were made and 7 federal citations were issued in total. President Donald Trump claimed that the criminal radical left vandals damaged the historic reflecting pool after the $16 million rehabilitation project was completed. Trump said the vandals cut and ripped the lower surface of the waterproof padding. He also claimed a 350-foot slash had been made in the pool. That's a pretty big slash. Additionally, the president said algae that appeared in the pool just after the crews wrapped up the renovations was criminally made. Criminally made algae. National Park Service Deputy Director of Operations Frank Lands disclosed in court documents that the liner along the bottom of it was cut with a sharp razor or knife. He also said about 70 fence post tops were thrown into the pool. The U.S. Park Police also put out a video on June 24th of another person allegedly connected to the vandalism. The video was taken on June 19th, just after 3:30 p.m., and appears to show a woman kneeling by the pool, reaching her arm into the water and pulling something out. USPP has not said if that person has been identified or arrested. Well, okay. So, So we're trying to claim that people visiting the reflecting pool, either before the $16 million renovation was completed or shortly thereafter, are the reasons that there's a slice down the middle. Are we sure about that? Are we sure? And that the algae was put in there criminally. Are we sure about that too? Because that sounds silly to me. But I'm just a simple guy in a USA cowboy hat. What do I know? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. That story's a little out there. Again, maybe it's just me, but this whole reflecting pool nonsense just kind of seems like a distraction from other things that we could be focused on that like actually matter, issues that actually matter. So we're gonna move into something that I think like just a person trying to human says, be a good YouTube person and like the stream, folks.
Folks, please like the stream, folks. It really helps us out. It helps me and Shani get the food we need, because Shani needs soda. And I need peanut butter.
Sorry, that's a different channel. My bad. Moving right along into story number 2. That's getting edited out into any videos that this gets made into. Story number 2, rescue mission launches to save NASA telescope that's falling back to Earth. All right, you can see that this is something that I would consider a blind spot. You have 11% of the reporting is coming from the right on this story, 56% from the center, and left is coming from 33%. We've got 33% of the stories coming from the left. I have my stories, like I always do, sorted by factuality. When looking over, you can see on the right here, it'll show you the ownership, how many sources are independent news, how many sources are high factuality or above. It'll tell you who broke the story and when. Second down on our factuality list is the Associated Press. I have a story pulled from them, formatted up and ready to go. And let's see what's going on with this NASA telescope. Cape Canaveral, Florida. A 3-armed spacecraft rocketed into orbit Friday to rescue a NASA telescope that's in danger of crashing back to Earth. Excuse me. Northrop Grumman launched Catalyst Space Technologies Link spacecraft from the Marshall Islands in the Pacific. The Pegasus rocket blasted off from the belly of a modified airplane, putting Link on course to reach and capture NASA's Swift Observatory in about a month. Launched in 2004, Swift is sinking faster than ever because of recent solar storms. NASA is paying $30 million for Catalyst to capture the telescope and boost its orbit so it can continue tracking some of the biggest explosions in the universe, like gamma ray bursts and exploding stars. If all goes well, Swift could be back scanning the cosmos by September. Observations are currently on hold to preserve the telescope's orbit as long as possible. NASA's Hubble Space Telescope could be a candidate for a similar salvage operation in a few years. It's also slipping in altitude because of increased atmospheric drag caused by the sun's outbursts. The 1.6-ton Swift currently is circling 224 miles above the Earth. Catalyst aims to raise the telescope's altitude by 150 miles back to where it all began. Link's thrusters will fire to boost Swift slowly so there's no heavy jostling. Catalyst threw the mission together in just 9 months. NASA insisted on a rush job because the telescope will be too low to recover by the fall. Without a boost, it's predicted to plunge to its demise in October. Bad weather and technical issues caused by a series of last-minute launch delays. This is high-risk, high-reward mission, Catalyst Space CEO Gon-hee Lee said ahead of the liftoff. The biggest danger was always we don't launch anything and we let Swift burn up in the atmosphere. So we were always trying to avoid that risk, and our team has done that. Okay, so I guess we'll see in a month if there's any update on this story and how it goes, because this is probably something that more than likely is going to become a big business in the future, satellite recovery to keep valuable satellites from burning up in orbit. If this is a problem for 2 of the biggest satellites, I guarantee you it's a problem for other ones as well. So anyway, that was a pretty quick story. Yeehaw, tubes. Yeehaw. All right. So, did anybody see the Instagram post about the couple that got engaged at the top of the thingy? The Empire State Building. That's what I'm trying to say. Empire State Building. NYPD detains Empire State Building climbers after peace banner and proposal. All right. So this is a fairly equal reporting story. 52% of the sources are from the center, 29% from the left, 19% from the right. 85% of the sources are high factuality or above. 624 articles are reporting on this. This has been a pretty big story among social media. And so it's kind of been like a human interest piece that a lot of people have been interested in. I have a story pulled from Post and Courier, which is number 2 on the factuality list. It told me it was behind a paywall. I read through the whole story. I didn't have any issues with it. Hopefully reading through it again doesn't like slam it behind a paywall here, but let's go ahead and take a look. As if the Knicks, the World Cup, Taylor Swift's possible wedding, and the 250th birthday of the nation were not enough, the ceaseless spectacle that is the summer of 2026 in New York City entered the stratosphere, more or less, on Wednesday morning. This is such hyperbole. 2 extreme urban climbers illegally ascended the needle of the Empire State Building, where one proposed to the other, 1,450 feet above the city. The couple, Angela Nicolou and Ivan Brikas, unfurled a large black banner that read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace," which are modified Jimi Hendrix lyrics, I believe. And Nicolau posted a video on Instagram that showed the vertiginous view from the terrifyingly tiny platform. Another image posted by Nicolau showed Breakus getting down on one knee. In still another, she shows off a ring against a backdrop of high rises far below. Body camera footage posted by the New York Police Department shows what happened next. An officer from the Emergency Services Unit climbed up the steep, caged ladder up towards the couple. "Hello, how are you doing?" he says. "Can you stay where you are?" He adds, "You can't be up here." Nicolau raises her arms and says, "I'm okay," as one of the officers takes her by the arm and another prepares to apprehend Breakus. Both were arrested, and the police said, and Nicolau was charged with burglary, defined in New York State as the unlawfully entering a building with the intent to commit a crime. It was not immediately clear Wednesday what charge, if any, Breakus would face. It was far from their first ascent. The couple, who are from Russia, were the subject of a 2024 documentary, Skywalkers, a love story about their romance and quest for thrills and fame. Nicolau has more than 1 million Instagram followers. In 2022, they climbed Merdeka 118 in Malaysia, which is more than 2,000 feet tall. The Empire State Building's needle, which houses communications equipment and a very tall antenna, raises about 200 feet from the top floor of the building. It is a surface that's not frequently scaled. In 1994, French climber Alain Robert did so according to the Guinness World Record website. New York City skyscrapers and monuments, however, have long been magnets for climbers. Their attempts have ranged from the modest to the truly harrowing. In 1918, Harry Gardner, nicknamed the Human Fly, climbed the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch at Grand Army Plaza in Brooklyn. It is all of 80 feet high. Philippe Petit famously walked a tightrope between the towers of the World Trade Center in 1974. In 2008, after 3 people, one of whom was Robert, climbed the New York Times building in a matter of weeks, the Times removed some of the horizontal rods that climbers had used to scale it. In 2014, a teenager from New Jersey climbed to the spire of the Freedom Tower, which was built on the site of the Twin Towers. Jason Barr, an economics professor at Rutgers University who has studied skyscrapers, said that the initial plans for the Empire State Building did not include a spire or antenna, but after the construction of the Chrysler Building with its distinctive crown, the building was redesigned to include a mooring mast that would stretch into the sky. These spires are designed partly for aesthetic reasons, but also partly for advertising reasons, like "look at the top of my building," Barr said. In recent years, artists and exhibitionists have called their unsecured and usually illegal ascents roof-topping, documenting the climbs on social media. Aside from structures in New York and Malaysia, Nicolau and Breakus have ascended buildings and construction sites in China and Europe, sometimes with legal repercussions. Reached by phone Wednesday, Petit, now in his 70s, was unimpressed by the couple's climb and seemed offended by the idea of being mentioned in the same article. I mean, how can you compare writing an opera in the sky and then climbing a very high ladder and unfurling a banner, he asked. Playing an opera in the sky? Although Petit himself brought along Confederates to photograph his feats, he decried the current emphasis on creating viral content rather than timeless art. "We all take selfies and we all forget. We forget to smell, we forget to hear," he said. "We are now, the toys of modern media." I don't think they're going to forget their proposal on the top of the Empire State Building, my dude. I think that's a little bit of copium personally, but that's just my take, so... I thought you gave up this formal look. I am back. I'm trying to do it on a weekly basis, Hodo. We'll see how it goes. I've been doing okay. I was here last week. It was a struggle last week. This week I'm trying to go back to the regular format and do things the regular way. So good to see you, friend. Got one story left, and then I'm gonna let everybody get to their holiday weekend and get going, because you've got stuff to do. I've got stuff to do. Maybe we've got nothing to do. Maybe nothing is what we have to do. Hotter than ever and cuter than before. Thank you. I appreciate that. I stroke my ego a little more. Thank you. um, yeah, that 3-minute mute was pretty epic. That was definitely me forgetting how to fucking do what I was doing. So, but yeah, like I said, we're doing a little better today. We're doing marginally better. So, but yeah, we've got one more story to get to. So, I got nothing to do, but I will still do stuff. Hey, go out, get something to eat. Fact of the day: not every country has 4th of July. Well, you know what? Every country that matters does. Every country that matters. That's my copium. Sorry, that's not true. Not true at all. I don't think like that. I'm just being stupid. So, but thank you for reminding me that not every country has the 4th of July. It's good to know. All right, we're gonna get into the last story, guys. So here we go. Story number 4. Scientists build synthetic cell from scratch that can feed, grow, and replicate. As you know on this channel, I like to pull stories that are big scientific news. This was published 2 days ago, but I only do the story once, or I only do the show once a week. So you're getting it today. It is not being reported on as much by the right, but definitely more by the far right and the moderate left. So left is 24%, right is 16%, center is 60%. You can imagine how the very far right is going to be reporting on something like this. They're not going to be very happy from a religious standpoint, I could imagine. So, but yeah, let's look at the factuality is 91% or above. 18% is from independent news. The story was broke by Science. So I have an article pulled by the Smithsonian Mag, which is highest on our factuality list, center-leaning, very high factuality, and it comes from the government. So that's who we're getting our news from in this last article, is the United States government. So America, freedom. Anyway, can't imagine that Smithsonian's going to lead us that far awry, right? Anyway, let's get into the story. Knights of Science have long chased a biological holy grail, transforming a soup of raw chemicals into self-sustaining life. Show me a canine turned into a non-canine. Now, a team led by synthetic biologist Kate Adamala of the University of Minnesota claimed to have made a huge leap toward that lofty goal. They've developed simple artificial cells that can feed, grow, multiply, and even compete for food, according to a study posted to the preprint server BioRx4 on July 2nd. The work has not been peer-reviewed. While the human-made cells aren't quite alive, they can't make all the necessary machinery or divide for that many generations. They show many signs of life. It's not as robust, as fast, or as good as most of its functioning, or at most of its functions as natural cells, but it is proof of principle that molecules can reconstitute behaviors that, up until now, we only associated with natural living cells, Adamala tells Guardian's Ian Simple. We're going to remember this moment, Rosanna Zia, a computational biologist at the University of Missouri who was not involved in the research, tells the New York Times' Carl Zimmerman and Marco Hernandez. Scientists have been attempting to create cells in the lab for decades. The feat could help researchers better understand life's foundations and pump out certain chemicals that humans need. For instance, people with diabetes rely on synthetic insulin that's made by bacteria and yeast. Adamala and her colleagues started down this path by trying to recreate natural cell division, a part of reproduction, by making a stripped-down version. But then they flipped their approach and worked from the bottom up, which would allow them to fully understand each component. The team created synthetic cell membranes that gathered proteins from the environment, and when they collected enough, the membrane's surface wrapped inward until it split into two. After that, the researchers decided to attempt to build a whole cell from scratch. They started with water-filled spheres enclosed by oily membranes called liposomes. Then they inserted DNA encoding only about 36 genes for essential functions, borrowed from a virus and common bacterium. The resulting creation was dubbed Spud Cell because of its potato-like appearance, an homage to Sputnik and the dawn of the space age, and because of Adamala's heritage. I'm Polish, she tells Guardian. I'm mostly made of potatoes. Okay. Once they were floating in laboratory flasks filled with a soup that contained crucial chemicals, the spud cells began behaving like living organisms. They gobbled up provided molecules like ATP, the primary energy currency for all known life. They also fused with feeder liposomes, which contained larger necessities such as enzymes. As the spud cells ate, they expanded. Within hours, they were ready to replicate. The team used the same cell division technique that kickstarted the project, adding special proteins to get the membranes to split, which successfully created new cells that grew. The synthetic cells even demonstrated a rudimentary capacity to evolve. When the researchers pitted the original spud cells against a mutant strain designed to bind more tightly to the feeder bubbles, the mutants successfully outcompeted the originals over 5 generations. It's dazzling that Amidala has put these things all together. John Glass, a synthetic biologist at the J. Craig Venter Institute in La Jolla, California, who was not involved in the study, tells the Times. Despite these extraordinary features, spud cells are far from perfect replicas of natural life. Even though they have the necessary genes, the cells currently lack the ability to make their own ribosomes, the cellular factories that build proteins. The scientists manually supply them with E. coli ribosomes via the feeder liposomes, but even then, the protein-making machine stops working after 5 to 10 generations. Not everyone is upbeat about the development. It's a very cool paper. Safran Wegner, a biochemist at the University of Munster in Germany who is not involved in the work, tells Science. But I don't think it means we're close to creating fully synthetic life. John Dupré, a philosopher of biology at the University of Exeter in England, questions whether these engineered structures will ever outshine modified bacteria when it comes to manufacturing drugs, food, fuel, or other materials. He tells The Guardian that they might not even reveal much about the foundation of life. It will, perhaps, provide a compelling argument against those who think there is some immaterial substance in addition to the chemicals that breathe life into material stuff, Dupré says, but almost no scientist now believes this. Still, Adamala thinks that spud cells could eventually create substances that natural cells can't, like new medicines. She has joined forces with Drew Endy, a synthetic biologist at Stanford University, who was not involved in the study, to found a nonprofit organization called Biotic that aims to build a community that works together on scientific advances, including artificial cells. Endy likens spud cells to the Wright brothers' first controlled flight in 1903. The Wright flyer flying 12 seconds doesn't get you to a 737, he tells the Times. This is just the beginning. Spud cells aren't native to Poland, though. Oh, spuds aren't native to Poland. They sure aren't. That's why I didn't understand that. Like, that didn't make any sense to me, but who knows? So, anyway, as I take a sip of my Juneberry Red Bull, not a sponsored tubes, that is the last article that I have for today. I really appreciate everybody that came in, watched the show. Beardshire, Hodo, Just a Person, always good to see you guys. Everybody that was in the watching the video, that didn't hop in the chat, thank you still for checking it out. Please drop the video a like if you have not already. Make sure that you are subscribed with notifications on. I am doing movie reviews typically in the middle of the week. 99% of the time it's going to be on Thursday. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit different than that, but make sure you've got notifications turned on for that, because I'm getting advanced tickets to some of these screenings and doing some more movie reviews and stuff like that as the blockbuster summer continues. And we will continue doing nightly news this morning on Friday mornings. We're going to shoot for right around 10 a.m. on Pacific Standard Time on Friday mornings. Probably started a little bit earlier, just to give people a chance to come in and everything. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to get out of here, give everybody a chance to enjoy their holiday weekend. We will be back next Friday with another live stream. Be good to each other. Spread a little bit of positivity if you can. Remember, you have a bigger impact on the world around you than you know. I had to mow before it gets to over 9,000. Yeah, movie reviews for feet fetish people. That's right. So, but thank you guys. You do have a bigger impact on the world around you than you know. So remember that. Remember that somebody that you interact with, if you are nice to them and you're positive to them, that could change their whole day. And we don't need to do it to make ourselves feel better, but just do it to make, make the world a better place. So With that being said, America, happy birthday. Go shoot guns, do fireworks, drink beer, all that good stuff. Drink Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Make sure you be a good American consumer. Do all that good stuff. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. I'm Cousin Matt. This has been Nightly News this morning.